Hello and welcome to another episode of Big Brother After Snark. I'm one half of your hosting combination. My name is KC, and once again streaming live from our Rocky Mountain headquarters. That's enough of that. Lacey, good to have you with us again.
Hello.
As always. The slightly more attractive and less entertaining Lacey is once again streaming live. Never mind. That was mean. So, as usual, big week in the Big Brother house, just like always. I figure, we kind of get caught up on what everybody's seen since our last show. Wednesday's episode, Thursday's episode, Sunday's episode, and then dig into spoiler territory, what everybody hasn't seen yet, what's going on. So, towards the end of the show, if you don't want the experience ruined, stop watching. But you want the experience ruined, so don't stop watching. So we left off going into Thursday night, just like we said. Jeff was going to go home. I know that really disappointed you. He was one of your favorites.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss that little football.
Deja vu. So Jeff walks out the door. And we go straight into the HOH competition, the double HOH competition. And Shelly and Liz and Julia win.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, nobody's talking about this. But for the first time in Big Brother history, we had, for a brief period of time, 3 reigning HOHs.
Yep.
So that's uncharted territory for Big Brother. So you all witnessed history. So Shelly,
what did you think of that competition?
It was basically your typical memory comp, but they threw in live entertainment, if you want to call it that, in the middle of it to spice it up. I guess I was fine with it. What'd you think of it?
I didn't think it was typical memory comp at all, because usually the memory comp is about what's going on in the house, the people in the house, past competitions, items in the house.
Right.
And,
but that normally doesn't they don't normally even scratch the surface of that till towards the latter portion of the season.
Well, I'm just saying, to me, it was a very unusual competition. When they did the foam party BOB, that was the first time ever that they've brought external people into the house to do the game.
Right.
So, second time this year, second time in history. I thought it was really strange. And also, at first I was a little irritated by this facet, but then I decided maybe I liked it. What it did was, it gave Liz a chance to win, is how I felt. Because it was kind of a crapshoot, I felt like.
Well, if it was a crapshoot, it gave everybody an equal chance to win.
That's where, at first I was annoyed because, I feel like the games are where you have to use some skill
right.
in the house. But I've always thought, I remember last year thinking it would be so interesting to see Victoria win an HOH, even though that's never going to happen. And so I was very interested to see Lizia win HOH.
So do you think maybe from a purist standpoint, that's why it bothered you?
Mm-hmm.
Are you trying to rival my cup? Are you trying to rival my cup choice?
I don't think that I would embarrass a solo cup by taking it on in a competition.
Thank you. I wouldn't expect anything like that from me. By the way, looking very 90s today.
Thank you. Yes, I'm rocking the white girl cornrows. Thanks for noticing. Try to do the corner-to-corner eyeliner and the shocking lipstick. I've got my puka beads.
I took out my white girl cornrows and my eyeliner yesterday, so...
I was hoping to see you rocking the highlighter this morning. I can't lie.
Rocking the what?
The highlights.
The eyeliner or the cornrows? Oh, the highlights!
Oh, you said eyeliner. Yeah. I heard highlighter.
I was just making a stupid joke. You're actually referencing dark days from my past, and I appreciate that.
That's more early 21st century Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
So, Shelly and Liz won HOH.
Yes, and I'm not a huge... I like Liz. Every week that goes by, I like the twins a little bit more. I'm not going to lie.
I feel the same way because they're good TV now. When it started out, they were boring TV, in my opinion.
Sort of. I mean, just because it took them a couple episodes to really start getting into watching them interact together.
That's what I love. The Twins DR sessions are my favorite. I like them even better than Johnny Mac.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far.
Johnny
Mac he's cool like the other side of the pillow. So don't knock Johnny Mac.
I'm not. I love Johnny Mac. I love me some Johnny Mac. But those twins, oh my gosh, did you do our laundry this week? Yes, you're so annoying. Why do you have your hair up? Because it was greasy. You need to put your hair up. You have to start acting more like me. You have to be more bubbly. What do you mean by bubbly? I'm not a dumb blonde. I can't act like that.
Entertaining, but it can't beat this.
So I'm walking out into the yard and I'm seeing this cow with like devil eyes. And then I'm seeing this pregnant alien with the third kid on the way. I'm like, it's pretty crowded out here.
So, I mean, yeah. You do a decent Liz and Julia impression. I have to give it to you on that.
I had not heard that quote from Johnny Mac. Is that a live feed snippet?
That was from right before your favorite competition of the year, where they all got sucked up into the, tractor beam.
Oh, that was on the show?
Yeah.
I don't even remember it.
Yeah, that was from one of his...
I guess I failed the memory comp.
Well, you were probably playing Flappy Bird. Oh, I'm sorry. I always do that.
Excuse you.
No, I have to... Okay, I accidentally... When you hear the absolute awfulness of my my soundboard skills, it's because I've accidentally dragged a mouse where a mouse was never supposed to go on a sound reel. And so I will try to get better about that.
Okay.
I can't make any promises, though.
It's okay.
Okay. Nominations. You said nominations.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the nominations.
Okay. So, Shelley nominated... I'm trying to remember which one nominated which. Liz nominated James and Jackie. Yes. I have a hard time remembering her name because I have a hard time remembering she's on the show. Liz nominated James and Jackie. Shelley nominated Jason Pit Stains. But
and prepare yourself. Shocker. She nominated Johnny Mac.
Johnny Mac, my favorite. So once again, both of my two favorite players go up on the block this week.
Johnny from the block.
Don't be fooled by the rocks that he's got. But hold on. Before we go any further, I don't want to forget to mention that Jeff, on his way out the door, gave Jason a pretty good run for his money on his nickname.
Oh.
For the Pit Stains. Because, I mean, we're talking... I mean, he had to go and hug everybody on his way out the door, too. It made me so uncomfortable because there was, like... It was, like, dripping out of each...
I did not see this!
How do you miss this stuff? Do you have high def?
No, we'll watch it on the Mac, so...
So you have high def.
Well, I don't have the
watch it on the Johnny Mac. Have. Yeah. So Pit Stains Jr., Jeff, was out the door. But anyway, so yeah, those were the nominations. And once again, Clay goes to Johnny Mac, which is always a hilarious conversation.
Yeah. And Johnny, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's do it! Handshake, big hug, big non-Pit Stain hug.
And it's Clay. Like, the Clay-Shelley relationship is such a phenomenon. I feel like we haven't seen anything like it. Ever.
How so?
It's so weird. Okay. From week one, from, like, middle of week one, they have been a couple in the house. Usually we'll see, like, it starts out as, like, a flirtmance, and then it becomes a showmance, and then it's a homance.
Right.
Sometimes
a bromance.
Yeah, it feels like they came in the house together. And remember, it was week one when Shelley had HOH and she needed a pawn. and it was before they had decided Johnny Mac was the perennial pawn. And Clay was like, just put me up. I'll go up as a pawn for you, you know, that way you don't have to get blood on your hands. And she was like freaking out, like in front of other people saying, I would never do that. I would never put you up, Clay. I will never put you up. And this was week 1. And they have not waffled. And it's so bizarre because even looking at the live feed updates, watching the show, you never see any like development of this relationship. Like you never see or hear about them having like conversation about anything or like getting to know each other. I mean, obviously that must be happening, I assume.
Right.
But it's like, it's such a bizarre Mrs. Robinson thing, and I felt like we got another little glimpse of that component of it on I think it was Sunday's episode when she was saying, "Are you being poopy head?"
Oh gosh,
poopy
yeah,
head.
I wanted to gag.
And that's kind of how she talks to him, but at the same time, again, it's so weird because she wins the comps, and then he kind of pulls the strings.
Right.
When people want to talk about noms or replacements, blah, blah, a lot of times they go straight to Clay.
Right.
They act like Clay and Shelley are like a married couple.
Sonny and Cher.
Weird.
We'll call them Sonny and Shelley.
I mean, can you think of any past couple to even compare them to, even slightly? I mean, Danielle and Shane is like an obvious one to me just because Clay continues to remind me of Shane a lot.
Right.
But totally different dynamic. That was all about Danielle having a crush and Shane kind of leading her on and...
Yeah, no, when you explain it that way, yeah, I can see it. It is pretty, it's kind of a new thing. And I don't, and you also kind of alluded to, I don't know if it's more due to editing or like maybe they're wanting to edit the showmances differently. And that could be 100% because I mean, at first it was like, oh, there's a showmance. We can make this an integral part of the show. But this season, there's actually enough interesting things going on where they don't have to focus on a showmance to try to keep people watching. So it might just be a 100% result of editing.
Yeah, that is a good point. Although I feel like, because I read like a live feeds update every day, like a recap of the day before, and it's pretty thorough in like the conversations going on, and I never see anything about Clay and Shelley's relationship developing in that way. So I don't know. It's strange. So we've had the noms, and once again, there's just this undercurrent of people saying we got to get Audrey out, and people saying I don't want to put Audrey up, and then picking other people to go up. And so the target initially was Jason, right?
Yes, that was Shelley's original target, was Jason. Yeah. I think Liz was a little bit more on the fence.
Yeah, I think Liz more put up 2 people that she would like to see either one of them go.
Right. And then an interesting thing happened. For one thing, if you watch Sunday's show, I like how James he turned Meg into a new verb. Meg is the new word for pawn, new verb, new noun.
Yeah.
Meg is if you're a pawn, you're a Meg.
I
would like to take it. I corrected myself. You weren't listening. I said not a verb, a noun.
I have a crackle.
Huh?
I have a crackle in my ear.
You should get some skull candy. They're good for that. I would like to take that one step further. And I would like to change the word lie to Audrey. If you lie, you just Audrey'd. Because Sunday's episode, Shelley figured out why it had to be figured out a second time. I can't figure out for the life of me. But,
I have a clue.
Yeah. Well, so Shelley figured out that Audrey has once again been a liar. Mm-hmm. Liar, liar, plants for hire. And it looks like, thank God, somebody figured out who the absolute worst Big Brother player in the house is.
So bad. I mean, I was thinking it was going to wind up going on to the point that they not only are scared to put him up or evict him, but are realizing, okay, this person is such a hideous player.
Right.
They cannot win. So why would we evict this person? I mean, honestly, if I were in the house, that'd be the place I was at right now. And
still making the classic Ronnie mistakes. Conversation goes on in this room. Yeah. All right, I'm going to get up and walk into the other room like a little rat. And I'm like, Why can't anybody figure this out? Like, this is like, if you let this awful Big Brother player skate through to the end and possibly win, it's absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, it seems like Shelley has finally figured it out, and so that's kind of where we left off in Sunday's episode.
Yeah, so they did Bottle of the Block, and how shocked were you that James and Jackie beat Johnny Mac and Jason?
And Johnny Mac, thankfully, seemed like he was actually trying. I mean, it was almost being gift wrapped for him there for a while, because Jackie was doing so terribly. I think she was the one that unearthed the key, but then didn't see it. It was right behind her, and but yeah, I was glad that it looked like Johnny Mac was actually trying to win the Battle of the Block, because I was shocked.
And Shelley had told him that to go ahead and try to win it. Like, he didn't have to throw it.
I might have missed that, and maybe that was on a live feed. I don't
think it was very explicit on the show, but I saw it in the live feeds.
Okay, so where we left after the end of Sunday was reigning HOH is Shelley, and the two people on the block are Johnny Mac and Jason. Mm-hmm. And a light bulb just went off in Shelley's head that Audrey's got to go.
Yeah, so we're into live feeds now, right?
Yeah, this is where we drift into spoiler territory. Mm-hmm.
So,
what is going on with Audrey?
So, first Shelley, was fully convinced, which she has been in the past, too, fully convinced, and then what seriously happened is Shelley went into the diary room, fully convinced, on board, stable, steady, Audrey's gotta go. Came out of the diary room crying, saying, I can't do this, I can't put Audrey up, it's gonna look bad, I can't do that to her, is what she was saying. That happened twice. That she went in the diary room.
Manipulation.
Yeah. Do. Yeah. Boo. So can we edit that out?
What? No. I will stop the chicken.
Yeah. So meanwhile, at the same time, Audrey is continuing to self-destruct, saying and doing all the wrong things.
How long was he in the diary room?
Okay, 2 times now. The first time was, I think, 4 hours, and the second time was 5.5 hours. Since it was, fully stated emphatically to Audrey, you are going up and out the back door.
Right.
This week. Audrey has disappeared into the diary room 2 times for extremely long. I mean, the house guests all decided, okay, Audrey's gone. And they were just waiting for their call to the living room for the announcement. There's a lot of speculation, obviously. None of us know what's going on in the diary room. Audrey did started to make statements about chemical imbalance.
That was an accident. I'm sorry. Go on. Chemical imbalance.
Medication. Anytime those statements start to be made, the feeds are cut. But there's some... It seems pretty much stated that he's going in there and having sessions with the psychiatrist, getting medication adjustments. I mean, he's stated clearly that he's on antidepressants on a regular basis, and so he will come out and just lay down. I mean, there was a big after the first long session in the diary room. He came out and went and laid down in the not in the have-not room. Laid down in one of the bedrooms and then just started convulsive sobs. And apparently the household and the feedsters all were thinking this was actually not a manipulation. It was actually a sincere breakdown.
Well, considering what type of drugs Audrey might be on, I mean, that kind of thing can happen. And that's why I thought, based on the medical information forms I filled out, that kind of thing kept you out of the house. Yeah, because it could be a very legitimate medical issue now that these prescription drugs are being induced to the situation. But I digress. Go on.
Well, that's what the house guests were kind of saying. Like, why isn't Audrey being pulled out at this point? Because so the person having it, and really, I mean, I have disliked Audrey all along because of the way that he plays the game and just the personality. But I just had like a whole new surge of just like basic human compassion when I was reading this, because this is like this is a really confused, hurting, messed up, mutilated human being, and it's just really it's a victim of our culture, and it's just
and now is being put in front of a camera and being told to dance monkey for ratings, and
exactly
that's not right. It's not right.
No, it's sick and it's sad, and someone who's wanting to deny their very biology. They're so uncomfortable with who they are. They're mutilating themselves to deny their biology, of who they are, and to be told by everyone around them that that's what they should do. They should deny who they are. They should mutilate themselves. It's just so sick, and it's not something I wanted to address in our show. It shouldn't be part of Big Brother, but I always feel like I would be remiss as a human being for not saying something about it.
I hate to dig into the political aspect of it on a show that I want to remain lighthearted, but it's
sad.
Yes. Nothing against Audrey as a person. No question there. Terrible game player. And I wanted him out of the house for that reason. And if there's medical issues going on now, based on what I read, he couldn't even be a part of the veto ceremony. That's when people have to leave the house. This has happened before, and
they did the veto ceremony, and Audrey refused to go to the veto ceremony.
Well, maybe getting ahead of myself. It looks like Audrey's out the door this week, so I do wish him the best of luck. That being the case.
Yeah. So Audrey is on the block.
Yes, that was the upshot of the veto ceremony. Shelley did. Who won the veto? Actually, was it John?
Vanessa
won the veto and used it on John or
used it on Jason.
Used it on Jason. So John and Audrey are on the block, and the target is Audrey.
So that is really good. For people who want to see Audrey go home in peace, because the production is not going to want to see Johnny Mac go. No. So I don't see them pulling any big strings.
Johnny Mac is pure entertainment.
Yeah, so I think we can feel pretty secure of that.
Yes.
Johnny Mac's staying this week.
Yes. And I think Jason's staying in the house. I think he is the type that could really cause a shakeup. Because I think he's the type that if he gets any sort of power, he'll go after the basically the alliance that has been controlling everything. Mm-hmm. And so I'm glad that Jason's going to stay. Mm-hmm. I'm glad that it looks like Johnny's going to stay. I'm glad that James is safe for sure. So so far I like what's happening this week. So it looks like things are going exactly the way my master plan had wanted them to go.
I feel really good for Johnny Mac that he lost both competitions this week. Now, there's already been speculation that he's been throwing the BOBs all along, and so they probably would assume he threw this one too. But the fact that he lost the veto, he needed to start losing things. When he doesn't need to win, he needs to lose because he was winning too much. And he's still in a great place. Right. And I think losing 2 more times this week keeps him in that great place.
Let me tell you what I didn't understand about the Smashing Pumpkins. Backtracking.
Why didn't they shake the pumpkin?
That's it! We hadn't talked about this. You pick up the pumpkin, you shake the pumpkin.
Shake it?
And you put... I've done this, and I wasn't looking for a key. And
I don't... Yeah.
I didn't understand. The only thing, and this is something that I had mentioned to my wife while we were watching it. The only reason why I could think of that they wouldn't have done that, but they shouldn't have known going into it, is if they had secured the key to the inner lining of
yeah.
the pumpkin.
And I thought of that too. I was like, if I was in their spot, I would start shaking pumpkins, but then I might second guess that
Right.
and think, wait,
at least go through like half of them. See if you can hear anything, and then once you've gone through a few, you haven't heard anything. All right, I got to start breaking them open just in case. But they might have told them beforehand. They might have said, "Hey, there's a key." That's what I was watching for. Can I see if the key is secured to the inside of the pumpkin? And
yeah, that's true, because they do prep them for the game.
Yeah, somebody has to come out and actually. Well, nobody else is seeing what's going on. Somebody comes out and explains to them exactly how the game works.
Yeah. So, yeah, they might have already known that it was secured. Yeah. But, yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Like, what?
Another totally random observation, but it kind of freaked me out a little bit. One of my two favorite players, James, who I'm pretty sure as a child was on the TV show Full House. He played the part of Harry Takayama. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, IMDb this. He was eating a hot dog sandwich on Sunday night. I myself ate a hot dog sandwich last week for the first time since I was single.
And what drove you to this, Kevin?
Obviously, God. It was an omen.
Cosmic connection.
It was an omen. It was a delicious hot dog sandwich, too.
What? You mean like where you don't have any hot dog buns, so you cut the hot dog lengthwise?
No, we had hot dog buns, but they were expired.
Oh.
So I had to take my sad face and turn that frown upside down and make a hot dog sandwich.
What did you have on it?
Both relish and mustard.
No ketchup? I usually do mustard and relish too, but if I really want to party.
Little kids put ketchup on their hot dog sandwich.
Well, I like mustard and relish for sure, and sometimes just some dots of ketchup.
What, like a ketchup face?
No. Just like not enough so that you take a bite and it's like ketchup, but just like just a hint of that tomato zing with lycopene. Okay, so
do you ever take the Clausen sandwich slices, cut them in half lengthwise, and put them on the hot dog?
Yes.
That's delicious.
Who doesn't do that? See, but with the bread and butter ones.
They're good too. I'm more of a purist when it comes to my pickles, but I do enjoy if I'm in the mood, I do enjoy
bread
the
and butter pickles are pure. Bread and butter pickles are pure. I like sweet relish on my hot dog, so if I don't have sweet relish, the next best thing is bread and butter sandwich slices.
We're getting way off track.
Way off track.
Our train of thought has derailed and it ran over Becky. So let's get back. What do you keep trying to say? And I keep kind of sidetracking us.
Do I keep trying to say something? Yeah. Okay, so we need to talk about, for one thing, the forgotten house guests. Now, poor Steve. We have not even mentioned him since our first episode.
I like Steve.
I like Steve, but he has proven to not be Big Brother legend. He's more socially awkward than Ian. I've heard Ian comment on this, and he said that they probably went into the house similarly, but Steve's not trying like Ian did. Like, even though Ian was really uncomfortable and awkward, he just kept putting himself out there, joining in the groups, joining in the parties, making sure he was in the alliances and the groups and everything. And Steve is just not being successful at that. So right. Steve is going to be easy collateral of somebody's plan at some point. I don't know. Maybe he sails to the end, but he's definitely... Yeah,
you never know. But I agree. He's not Ian.
Becky, we didn't talk about this last week, but she had actually gone almost an entire week without getting called to the diary room once.
Oh, they didn't even call... I knew they weren't putting her on TV. I didn't know they weren't even calling her in.
They weren't calling her to the diary room, and I know this because she was griping about it on the feeds, every day. And so, not only... It's not like they were even forgetting to call her, because she was griping about it.
They probably heard that you didn't like her.
Well, that's the thing. From the first episode, remember what I said? Becky is boring. Who's right? Maybe they should listen to me next time they're in town.
Awesome.
If they don't want to cast me, I can at least hook them up with some interesting people.
I doubt that.
Anyway, so yeah, Jackie had some screen time this week, some serious screen time.
Yeah, and she actually tried to make a game move. I almost fell off of my couch. It didn't go well.
Yeah.
Running short on time. would you like to make any predictions for this?
Well, one thing... Well, I predict that Audrey's leaving, and then who knows what's going to happen after... Okay, in the wake of the Audrey blow-up, Audrey has been, like, outing everybody's everything, which because of Vanessa, she actually knew about some true alliances, and she's been outing them. Now,
way to go, Vanessa!
Everyone takes everything Audrey says with a grain of salt, but at the same time, once Audrey's gone, everything...
That's because Audrey tells lots of Audreys.
Yes. Very true.
Go on.
Everything he had put out there is going to be things that's on people's radar, already in their mind. They're going to be looking for it now. So what were already seemingly obvious alliances that people just seem to not, if they're picking up on them, they're not talking about them. Now they're going to have been called out. I think there's going to be different lines and more firm lines. I think maybe some of the stragglers are going to start ganging together. We're going to see that kind of thing. I hope. One interesting thing from the live feeds that just happened yesterday is Austin was waiting for Liz to come back in the house because it was Julia, and Liz is the one that Austin thinks likes him.
Right.
And that Austin likes when really none of them like him.
Right. I'm beginning to not be able to stand him, by the way. But go on.
Oh, yeah. So the people who still have not been explicitly told about the twins are like Johnny Mac, I think Jason, Vanessa for sure, Becky, Jackie. Anyway, Austin said to Johnny Mac that he couldn't wait for Liz to come back in the house. And Johnny Mac said, "There's two of them?" And then Austin just kind of let it trail off. Yeah, so he outed the twin twist to Johnny Mac, which he already...
he already knew.
Think you know, but yeah.
What an idiot.
And Audrey still has, like, not a clue. So that is going to be a reveal on Thursday night for Audrey.
That's cool.
Audrey is the only person in the house that did not know.
I still think that this is gonna be a season that they bring somebody back. I still think one of the evicted house guests will be brought back. I think that could potentially be used as a save for Audrey, but other than the fact that Julie Chen told Jeff how a couple of the votes went. It made me kind of second guess that, but other than that, the only reveal has been they've told the people about the twin twist, and everybody's going to know about the twin twist in 2 weeks anyway.
No, I don't think you're correct because they're out. They're not in sequester. They've been doing interviews. They do interviews with Rob Has a Podcast, Jeff Schroeder. They're out. They're back home.
Well,
when they bring somebody back, they sequester everybody that leaves that house. They don't do the morning after interviews.
Fair enough.
They don't do interviews with Rob.
Fair enough.
So I don't think that's correct.
You may be correct, but then the other possibility would be that they would have a week where, okay, either we're bringing in this twin, or we're bringing in the house guest that you just voted out.
Yeah,
and you have to vote on that. So that could be the case. But you're right. Yeah, if they're out doing interviews, then...
Well, I'm irritated that Liz and Julia got found out and now they still have the chance to play together because I checked and season 5, that was absolutely the rule. It was if you get evicted or it is discovered that you're playing with a twin. Sorry, it's my coffee maker. It's discovered
now is not the
with
time
a twin.
for coffee.
Yeah, then you don't get to play together. So I guess this year they didn't state it that way, but I think that's what the rule should have been, and that's irritating. But I'm super excited for them to play together because I want to see more of them together.
Oh, yeah.
Because when they interact, it is so... The faces, the pouty face and the whining, like, it's hysterical.
Yeah.
Cover your tooth. Everyone's watching the tooth.
They are funny. I like them.
Okay, so I guess we need to sign off, huh?
We do. We are very much running over our allotted time. But before we go, we are both predicting Audrey out the door this week.
Yep.
We can put it in the bank. Put it in the bank. That being said, if you would like to talk to us on Twitter, don't forget to use the hashtag BBAfterSnark. Look us up on Facebook, Big Brother After Snark. Find us on YouTube, Big Brother After Snark. I'm noticing a theme here.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Please subscribe.
And comment.
And comment.
We love compliments.
And such and the like. Don't forget to pet the fish. Nice fish. Thank you for watching, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Adios.